Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's Wednesday, it's 7 o'clock, that means it's Tier 3 time. Tonight you have myself, Simba, bringing you all the action of the Challenger tier roaring around in typical MRC fashion. We are here at the Yas Marina circuit here in the United Arab Emirates. This Herman Tilke designed 3.281 mile circuit, first used in 2009, comprises of 16 turns and some long straights. Not the most exciting race on the calendar, but I'm sure MRC will deliver as always. Max Verstappen has won the last 3 races here, one of them in controversial form that saw him seal his first championship. Other titles that have been decided here include Sebastian Vettel and Nico Rosberg. Lewis Hamilton holds the most win record with 5, Mercedes and Red Bull tie for constructor wins with 6. So I've been rubbing the magic lamp again and out has popped a genie. He will be my comms buddy for the evening, so welcome to Rob Atwood. How are you this evening?
Yeah, very well thanks, how are you?
Yeah, not too bad. Excited to see what the Tier 3 can do. It's always a good one to watch.
Yeah, I think we've had some really good races this week. Certainly one on both on Monday were quite exciting, both with late safety cars. That seems to be a bit of a feature around here, and Yas Marina. Fingers crossed we don't get any tonight. Yeah, I'm just hoping for a good old scrap. And yeah.
Well, at least there'll be no controversial title deciders.
Exactly. That's why we hold it nice and early in the season. Get out the way soon. And that's for those of you at home keeping track, that's our Abu Dhabi 2021 chat done. Hopefully we won't be mentioning it at all again for the rest of the night. I think we've got Night Shadow out in a lap, haven't we, right at the front? So why don't I take you around a lap of this circuit and
sounds good.
Talk you around it. Okay. Let's see, Gav. Right, he's setting himself up for a lap, and here we go across the line into turn 1. Left-hander, tricky one this. You want to brake around about between 100 and 50. And into a lovely section of track here. This is all about throttle control and how brave you are, and you want to keep off the curbs. He keeps it in 6th, just lifts off a little there. Right, now you're into this new section. You've got rid of that horrible left-right, and you've just got this nice hairpin, which you've got to just hit the apex there, and then it's on to the power. You're down to the longest straight on the circuit there. DRS wide open, really trying to hammer it down and pick out your braking point. Now it's around about 100 here, even with the DRS open, so you're looking for that marker on the right. Now hard braking, left, right, down into 2nd. This is all about keeping it smooth and not getting on the power too quickly. If you do, you can lose the end there. Gav's kept it lovely and clean through there. Right, DRS open again, and now once again you're into the revised bit of the circuit. Gone is that horrible little technical section. Instead you've got this lovely, fast, sweeping left-hand corner. Hook it in, and then you get round on the power again. You want to hook it all the way down to the right, use as much of that curb as possible. Gav's kept it off there. You're just going to follow the track round. It goes right to left, and you hook it in going down into 2nd. Now this is all about throttle control through here. How brave are you through the left-hander? Yes, that's fine. You can go down. This right-hander has been widened a little bit, so you can take it at full throttle. And then there's a hard braking zone. Right, and you open up the throttle, and he's across the line, and that's in a 1:26. Very respectable time there from Gavin. Let's see if anybody else can match him.
That did seem to be quite a good banker lap, did that?
Yeah, that was nice and smooth.
And then bounce stop appeared.
2nd quicker, but he's very quick. He's quick on the mic, and he's even quicker in the car. So, yeah, no, that's a lovely little lap there.
Who else we got? It was early on the lap, I think. Maybe Boothie. He seems to be quite early on. Just coming up to the first of the hairpins. They've got a slight banking on them, I believe, these hairpins.
Yeah, it makes them really... I really enjoy this track, actually. I think Abu Dhabi's gone from one of the ones that I really didn't enjoy last year to being one of the tracks where I felt the car was most stable around and most consistent this year. And yeah, I hope the other drivers feel the same way. They've just got rid of a lot of those horrible, tight, twisty technical sections that seem just to kill all the momentum. Now you get to be on the throttle so much of the lap. It's really fun, and there's quite a few good overtaking opportunities as well. You've got to be patient, but particularly that long straight and the one straight after it, you can sort of line up your overtake into those 2 sections.
I mean, I personally really do like turn 9, the second of the new additions.
It's challenging, isn't it?
Yeah, and if you get it right, you can actually overtake on the outside there as well as the inside.
Yes, it's a brave place for overtaking. I feel that there's a lot of time where I was, particularly against the AI, you're lining it up, and it's all about the exit to that corner. If you come out of that corner and you're trying to overtake around the outside, it's very difficult because you're taking more track, and the person going around the inside has got shorter to go. And even if you've got a little bit more acceleration, it's going to end up in sort of chaos and somebody getting pushed off to the left. So, if possible, get your overtakes done before the apex or into the apex of 9, as afterwards into that nickel third section it gets a little bit scrappy.
Yeah, there's not a lot you can do in Sector 3. That's more of a keep tight and wait for the next one.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a good idea in Sector 3 to just bully the car in front. Make them use the ERS and run out.
Yeah, it's all a bit... Sector 3 is all about sort of psyching other person out, because like I said, it's all about traction control. And if you're pushing somebody and they feel that they've got to put their foot down a little bit more, it's really easy to lose the back end, particularly as you're going underneath that sort of hotel bridge section, whatever you call that. That's a really easy place to lose the back of the car. So, yeah, and I think it's happened to a couple of them. I just looking at where Geke Matthews gone out, unfortunately. I think that was in Section 3. That's where we got some yellows. So
yeah, we're following with Gibbon, and there was a couple of cars in that section.
Yeah, it's a wee bit messy.
See how Mindful Wasp's getting on. He's just in the chicane in the middle of the straights. Oh, I'm guessing he's not on a lap, actually. He's run out of ERS.
Yeah, it might be a bit tough. There's...
Oh, Ghost Rider's just started a lap. That'll be a good one. In the Mercedes Triangle.
Odd shape, no side pods. Very interesting to see if they keep with that into next year. It feels weird now. Obviously, we're talking about the most recent game with the most recent cars, but the season's over, finished, didn't it? On Sunday.
I know, it's a sad reality of that many weeks with no F1.
Yeah, feels very weird to have it all gone all of a sudden. But yeah, hopefully we'll be able to keep your F1, your what need for F1 over the break with our own races here.
Hopefully so, because they usually provide a lot of action.
Certainly.
They can sometimes be better than the real ones when you get just a DRS train.
More consistent excitement, I feel. Yeah, more overtakes. That's very smooth there from Ghost.
Yeah, I remember when Ghost was in with us last season, he was pretty quick. He was usually up there in the top 6, maybe in qualifying.
Just looking at this lap now, I don't know if it's a banker, but it is incredibly smooth. I'm not seeing any sort of twitches or nervy moments from the car. He's just kept it really tidy, and across the line, there we go. That's it.
If that's a banker, then God help everybody else.
Yeah. Didn't look like he was pushing that much, so if there's more to give in that car, as there will as the track starts to rubber in, then that's an excellent first lap. After
you just said that, literally everybody else in Tier 3's just started crying. He's not pushing that much.
It looks so smooth. Sometimes, you know how they say sometimes like slow is fast. It was so controlled that lap. That's what I mean. You're not the best drivers know how to make the car look slow because it just looks so under control. Who else have we got on a lap at the moment?
I'm not quite sure. There's a few that maybe just started one. I think Gibbon may be on a lap.
Let's have a look at Gibbon. Gibbon's always a very interesting racer to watch. I've seen his footage behind. He's got a very interesting camera angle he races at. He's another driver that's shown great improvement over the seasons, and yeah, moving it from Tier 4 to Tier 3, I think, recently. And he's always up for a challenge. He's one of those drivers who I know puts the hours in at the sim, if you get what I mean. He's never afraid to sort of say, right, I've done 70 laps at this circuit, let's see how he pans out, and sometimes it really shows. Let's see how he gets on through this final sector. Very nice and tidy through there. Cross the line, improves 127 into 11th place. Nice lap.
Let's see who else is on a lap. And stop on one. Looks like it's just coming up to the end of one. In your old favourite, your new favourite car.
Yes, Aston Martin. You know what? It has grown on me. I think it's the colour and everything. It really does look like quite a nice car. And I don't know if it's just because they've done the livery update. There we go. As Banstorp goes into the pits, has picked the right car. But yeah, it's not as bad as I thought it would be to drive. I'm quite enjoying it. It's different to the Alpine, but yeah, equal performance. They all feel kind of the same. So yeah, that's been
yeah,
nice
I
to
suppose
run
that's it. Really, it's more psychological with the colouring.
Yes, yeah. Once you get used to the engine sounds aren't that different either between the Alpine and the Aston. So yeah, it's been easy to adapt.
See how Mr. Connor gets on. I believe he's trying a no traction at the moment, so good luck to him.
Okay.
I know myself that's difficult because I've been trying no assists in practice recently.
Oh, there we go. I think you just caught that. That's what happens when you got no traction through those tight corners. Really easy to just lose the back end, and he did really well to keep that out of the wall, actually. So yeah, you just got to keep on trying. No traction is a huge step up as well. We've seen the best struggle at it, haven't we? I hope he doesn't mind me mentioning, but J Sarge is very, very quick and will be very quick with a lot of practice with no traction. But the change to it, the change in the control of your foot, where you can put the power down, and how, yeah, we were speaking about it before we went live, about how sometimes in this game it feels that the cars can act a little bit inconsistently. It can do just a little bit too much on the throttle and suddenly you lose the back end. That's the real challenge with no traction. But yeah, stick at it, Connor, because you will get quicker overall eventually. It just, yeah, it's a battle between your times and the consistency that a little bit of traction control can give you.
Yeah, I've noticed with J Sarge he's still relatively quick, but it's the consistency he's struggling for. He'll have a silly moment every few laps.
Yes, yeah, and there are certain times where there's other situations if you're running no traction, like race starts. Still really struggle with those. In the wet, you'll probably find that those with a bit of traction control will be at a slight advantage to those without. But ultimately, if you run without it, you've got the possibility of putting more throttle when you're getting out of those corners, so you can accelerate faster. And when you get your eye in, that's when it starts to come off for you. So yeah, practice. That's the only thing you can do. The fewer assists you've got on, more practice you need, unfortunately.
Oh, Gav's just lost it, unfortunately. Was just coming out of the new turn 9 hairpin.
Ah, damn.
It's what we were saying earlier about really struggling for the traction running round there. It's a very fine balance.
Yeah, and I don't know, I mean, I know Gav is one for an ambitious setup. I don't know if he's running the 0-1 wings again, but if he is, he'll really struggle through that section because it puts a lot of pressure on the car. This tends to be a track that has historically eaten up the tyres. You'll need to keep those tyre pressures nice and low if you want to do a one-stop.
Well, I did offer him a bit of setup advice, but whether he's taken it or not, who knows?
We'll wait and see, yeah.
He might let me know afterwards. Oh, if he's listening, I might get a message going, yeah, I used it.
I spun, it's not that good. Yeah.
Well, improve your driving maybe, because it worked for me.
Right.
I don't think we've really got anyone on a proper lap. I think Banstorp's just started one. Let's have an onboard lap in your car.
And Banstorp's here.
Yeah, I hear you've lent him yours for the evening.
Yep, don't pee in the seat, all that stuff. Oh, that's nice and smooth through there.
That was brilliantly smooth. Yeah. Speaking of no assist, I know Banstorp's a no assist driver as well.
So much respect.
He's rapidly fast. But he's very smooth with it as well.
I think you have to be. I think it forces you to be a smoother driver for it, because there's one assist I've never been able to take off, and that's ABS. And when you take it off, the first thing it forces you to do, it says you must brake in a straight line or you're going to have a miserable time. And that is the quickest way to handle the cars through here. But for my brain, who's been braking around corners for years and years and years, I struggle a lot with it. So yeah, it makes you a smoother driver, and Bosch makes you a very quick driver as well. That's pole position, temporary pole position for I'll up there on the Aston Martin.
Yeah, I mean, the no assist route, it's fun to learn, because I've been doing it a bit this week in practice. We're practicing with the other Mark, and yesterday I was about a second and a half off him, and today I'm down to about half a second off him.
Yeah.
But it's just getting that consistency. And I find with the ABS, like you say, you've got to brake in a straight line, but it forces you to carry more speed into a corner.
Yes.
And be smoother with it. Once you nail it, it's really rewarding, I'm finding.
Yeah. But it's getting through that slow phase, isn't it? Because there's a phase where you just feel like I'm going slower. It's easier. If I could brake around these corners, I know I would be going faster. But yeah, actually, just keep the faith. Keep practicing.
Ghost Rider's just stolen provisional pole back.
Oh, that's very close, isn't it? Just
It's a big battle for the front row going on here.
Yeah.
Let's see if Kaiser Soze is on a lap, because I know he's very quick on his day as well.
Very quick. I don't know if his ERS is quite low at the moment. I don't know if he's
It's flashing like crazy. I'm assuming probably not then.
up a tenth on his time through sector 2. Let's see if he can claw anything back. Or need to claw back around about 0.3 seconds through this last sector.
It's amazing how much you can get in this sector though if you've made a mistake previously.
Oh yeah, and he's doing really well where I would go down into third. He's kept it in fourth through there. Sixth. It looks quite nice and tidy here. Let's see this last corner. It's a bit make or break. You want to just keep it absolutely straight across the line. Oh. Goes quicker, but not quite quick enough.
That was a good lap though.
Yeah.
You could literally fit a hair between the top three at the moment.
That's incredible. Right, who are we going to next?
I was just on with Rotterdam because he seems to be late on a lap at the moment. He's running some very unusually wide lines though. He's not invalidated though, so let's see if it works for him.
Yep.
Gav's running a straight line speed setup. Fractional improvement from Rotterdam. Yeah, we knew that'd be the case with you, Gav. Focus on the corners, not just the straights. If you're super slow in the corners, then you're going to struggle.
Yeah.
Especially on the tight technical tracks. I mean, if you're super daring, run 0-1 at Monaco and see what happens.
Exactly, yeah. He will, you know. He will. He's always going for the unsuspecting.
I think I probably just spoiled his surprise for Jeddah. He's probably going to run something ridiculous like that in Jeddah.
Jeddah is all power, though. I'm pretty sure I spent about 90% of my lap full throttle around Jeddah.
You do. It reminds me a little bit of Vietnam.
Yes, a little bit. Although I must say that I don't know if it's just because the AI are slower. I'm having a better. Jeddah is weirdly one of my favourite tracks on this game, and I know not many people will think that. Vietnam was horrible. I hated Vietnam, and I'm very glad it hasn't come back to the calendar.
It was all wow. Scratch just stole provisional pole.
Let's just focus on the.
And neither Ghost Rider or Bandstop can actually stop him. Kaiser Soze is in the pit. Rotterdam's in the pit. Rob Smith's invalidated. Melvin's on a lap. He's going to have to pull out about a second and a half though. He's nearly 3/10 up.
Yeah, he's still improved though. Let's stick with him.
I think he's one of the only ones left, so we'll definitely watch. I think Connor maybe just had a moment in the final sector. Should have cleared out of the way by the time Melvin gets there, so it shouldn't be an issue. Oh, he's in the pit lane, there we go. Last thing you want on a good lap is a car in your way.
Yes. You want all that focus, don't you?
I think he cost himself time in the final corner, unfortunately.
Yeah, I don't know if that was my internet or he just seemed to take a slightly odd line through that last corner, but that's a shame, 11th.
I think he panicked, braked a little early and went tight.
Yeah.
So no, it wasn't your internet. He wasn't teleporting everywhere.
I'm just checking. I never know with mine. Right, I think that's us done, isn't it?
I believe so. Yep, there we go. What a qualifying session that one. The battle for pole as well. If the race delivers like that, we are on for a beauty.
Yeah.
So there we go. Scratch Charisma stole pole in the dying seconds. Ghost Rider will line up alongside him. Bandstop in third, Kaiser Soze fourth. The Red Bulls of Rotterdam and Mindful Wasp fifth and sixth. Mr. Straight Line Speed is in seventh. Boothie in eighth. Rob Smith ninth. Baldy 10th. Melvin 11th. Fragile Tunnel 12th. Gibbon 13th. Backmazo 14th. Connor 15th. Calvin 16th. Strangely on the wets. And no time set from Ty Clear, Geke Matthew, Ant or CBG Sambal. Any predictions from you, Rob?
Oh, pretty hard to predict. I mean, those from what I saw in qualifying, I think Ghost Rider's got a great chance in this race. I know he's been pipped to the pole position, but he looked very smooth, very controlled. So, yeah, if he keep that consistency in the race, maybe he's got a little bit more pace than the others who may have been a bit on edge on those qualifying laps.
I know you're a genie. Are you reading my mind? Because that's exactly who I was thinking.
Oh, great minds think alike. It's okay for us to agree. I'm happy with that. It's cool. We don't have to make another one up, but
no, never make another one up just for the sake of it. The way he was on that lap, like you said, smooth, consistent. I think he might be a good shot for it today.
Yeah. But what I will say though is, like, well, in the Tier 2 race we had Hosepipe, who was fantastic. He put it out on pole by about like half a second, and then absolutely dominated that race. He was way out the front to the late safety car. This lot, there's about a second between the top 10, so I think anything could happen in those top 10. If you get it right, if you keep it clean in those first few corners, you're in with a shout.
Oh, really could, yeah. It's always good. Let's get some... Let's have a look at tyres. Geke's gone with a very aggressive strategy. He's gone for the softs. CBG's Sambal, Ty Clear, BRD Calvin, Gibbon, Boothie, Night Shadow and Mindful Wasp have all gone the conservative route with the hards. And everybody else has gone the mediums.
I mean, going on the hards now means you're probably committed to a one-stop strategy, which is fine. Those that ran on the hards on Monday night in the Tier 2 race, they were at an advantage when we had a late safety car and they didn't pit and they stayed out on the mediums, which I think was a viable strategy. I was stuck on the hards at the end, which meant that, yeah, you knew you were going to be swallowed up by everybody, particularly if anybody decided to go on the soft, so that's not a bad strategy. My call, though, is I do prefer to go on the mediums round here, just because if you take the medium strategy, I think is about 12 on the medium and 17 on the hard, or the two-stop is 11 laps on the medium, another 11, and then 7 on the softs. So if there's a safety car around about lap 11, you can quickly switch from a one-stop to a two-stop without too much harm and keep yourself in the hunt. So, yeah, I would prefer to start on the mediums just to keep myself a little bit flexible if there's a safety car around about that point. But, yeah, good luck to the hard runners as well. And Geke on the softs, that's an aggressive start, committed to the two-stop, really. He's going to be praying for an early safety car, so he can get off those softs quickly, I think.
Yeah, I personally went the opposite to you. I went with the hards. Because I had the two mediums available anyway.
Yeah.
So I'm like, well, if we do get a safety car around that sort of time, I can always switch to the mediums and go two-stop, hard, medium, medium. That's
fair, yeah. And the hards weren't that much slower than the mediums, I felt. That you were keeping, I think it was in and around you at the start, that the hard runners were keeping good pace with the medium runners. You probably see the crossover point around about lap 8, I would say, where the hards start really coming into their own. So, yeah, anyway, let's get this race started.
Hopefully no glitches. We've got Michael Massey locked in a safe somewhere. Yep, seems to be all good. So that's 5 red lights. And we are underway. Ghost Rider's had a bit of a poor start. Scratcher's had a stormer, so has Bandstop. And Aston Martin 1-2. Kaiser Soze's third. Ghost Rider's had a spin at turn 1. He's now down in P20. Melvin's out of the race. What's happened there?
Blimey, don't know. Is that a full safety car or
We've
virtual?
Had about 4 cars all collide with each other at turn 1.
Oh, blimey, yeah, we've got
Fragile Tunnel, Ghost Rider and B17 and Melvin that have all had issues at turn 1.
Yeah, Fragile doesn't have a front wing anymore, neither does Buildy. Ghost Rider seems okay, but there we go. Both of us pick a driver and curse him before turn 1. So what a call from us.
Yeah. I think we should stop these predictions.
Yeah, exactly. Doubly cursed him there. That was impressive. Great start for the Aston Martin, so a 1-2 at this stage. Just, yeah. No fighting, boys, or are you going to keep fighting to the end?
You know, I'm sure I said Barnstop, we're going to win it. Actually, no, I'll take that back. I don't want to curse him.
Yeah.
I'm sharing a comms box with him on Friday.
Very wise. They're back up to full racing speed now, though. So yeah,
only a quick virtual, so yeah, let's see what we get. Other than that, let's have a look at the rest of the position changes. So yeah, Ghost Rider was the big loser. Baldy and Fragile lost out a little bit. Biggest gainer seems to be Connor. He's up 7 positions.
Yeah,
Mindful's in the pit.
Yeah, not quite sure what happened there. I don't know. I'll just stick with him a second to see if it is a wing change or anything like that. No wing change. Oh yeah, it is a wing change. Yeah.
Yeah, so he's clearly got caught up in something at turn 1. Maybe something's unfolded in front of him. He might have clipped Ghost when he's spun or something. If there's an issue, I'm sure we'll see it in the stewards. We don't want to speculate on what we don't know.
Yep, that's fair.
Oh, seems to be Gavin Booth here having a little bit of a ding-dong at the moment.
Yeah. I mean, I can see what Gav's done. I just want to see his straight line speed against Boothie. I know Boothie had the run on him into that corner there, so clearly straight line speed not all it cracked up to be.
Oh, I think Gibbons had a bit of a moment. He's just dropped down the field. Gecky's tried mowing the grass and then realised there isn't any. Yeah, that straight line speed only helps on 2 parts of the track, Gav.
Yeah, but it does help in both overtaking zones, so that's the point. So keep a little eye on Gav and see if there's a little bit of a Gav train behind him. I don't know what you would call it. There must be a more catchy name for that, but yeah.
And we've missed it. Bounce-Stop's taken the lead.
Oh gosh, he hasn't he? Yeah, they were having a right ding-dong out front, but oh, okay, it's that Kaiser Soze in the back. Kaiser Soze's gone round from 3rd place.
Oh no.
Just lost it into turn 1, I think.
That's such a tricky corner. If you catch that curb on the inside, it just throws you all over.
Yeah, it's got quite a big bump to it, hasn't it? So, okay, all playing into the hands of the Aston Martins now, particularly Barnstorp, who's pulled out a 2-second gap on Scratch.
And Scratch is now under pressure from Rotterdam.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mandy, we could call it the Iron Brew Express for Gav.
That's it, let's see if it builds up.
No, Rotterdam, play it sensible. Overtake on the 2nd straight.
Yeah.
If you overtake on the 1st, they get the detection and get you back on the 2nd.
Yeah.
Because unlike some tracks, it's 2 different detection points. Is this one? Kaiser Soze's just got past Boothie. Looks like a textbook DRS pass was done well before the corner.
Yep. That's the way you want to do it.
And Gav's now crawling all over the back of Rob Smith thanks to that straight line speed.
Yeah. Gosh, whatever happened, a shout out to Ghost Rider as well. I know he hasn't had the best of starts into turn 1, but he's slowly making his way back up the field now, back into P12. And
that's good going.
Taking too much to make that time up.
Rotterdam's the fastest man on track at the moment. I think this drop down from tier 2 to tier 3 is really helping him.
Yeah, I think it's sometimes when you're in tier 2, when you're with faster drivers and you think you're a little bit slower, that's when you make silly mistakes, or you put too much pressure on yourself and you go for overly ambitious moves, and because you're trying to prove yourself all the time. I think if you're in tier 3 and you just back your skill, then the success will come. So hopefully he takes that lesson from it. I know it's quite an ambitious move he did there. That was that hairpin. Let's see what he can do on Scratch into these next 2 DRS zones. He goes for a big lunge down the inside.
We've seen that before. On a couple of occasions.
He did the right thing though, realised that it was too ambitious, pulled out, let that driver have that position. So, yeah.
Gav's just gained another place with his straight line speed.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not a bad strategy if you can hold it in the corners.
Oh, totally, yeah. The other thing to watch out for around here, though, particularly, is your ERS. You burn up so much ERS going for some ambitious passes down those two DRS zones. If you're on lap 4 and you've only got, like, what, 20% ERS, that's when you've got to start worrying. It's a long Grand Prix. Sometimes it makes sense to just sort of sit behind somebody and milk the DRS for a while.
Oh, yeah, really. Best thing to do, just sit there, let them use all theirs, and then put them under pressure.
Yeah, zoom past and then make that 1 second gap up with your spare ERS, and then they can't do the same back to you.
Because like you were saying, it's a different ball game being in Tier 2. I'm noticing that.
Yeah.
Come from being Tier 3 champion to, hang on a minute, I'm mid-pack now.
I think the thing about Tier 2, well, in a lot of these tiers actually, is that anybody on their day can win a race. Everybody's quick in their own right in Tier 2. So, yeah, it's just that challenge. It's fighting for consistency as well as that speed.
That's generally what I aim for. I go for consistency rather than one lap pace.
We've got a yellow. Oh, okay, that's Geke letting everybody through. He's a lap down now, unfortunately. He'll get in there.
That's happened quickly.
Gosh, we've got a right ding-dong 4, 5 and 6 here.
Yeah, we're just watching on board with that. And
Kaiser's
went for the inside line on Rob, and I think he's made it stick.
Yeah, that was very nice and clean from both drivers. Clearly knew where the other car was. Let it happen, quick as well. But yeah, just I think Rob Smith understood that Kaiser had the pull out and the traction out of that corner there, and let him by.
And the Scratch is doing well at holding at Rotterdam at bay.
Yeah,
still not found a way past.
Yeah, and if you're playing the team game, Barnstorp will be saying thank you very much, teammate. Keep him back there for as long as possible, because that gap between the two of them, whilst these two are scrapping, Barnstorp is just eking out about half a second a lap, I'd say. Really playing into his hands.
Yeah, sometimes you're better off not defending, but obviously if he's playing the team game, it's better for him.
Yeah.
But when it's this long to go in a race, sometimes you're better just letting the person go.
Yep.
And let them tow you round.
Just got Kaiser, got past Night Shadow there. That looked very easy. Such a difference the DRS makes.
We just kind of caught that in the background as well.
Yeah.
But now Gav's going to come back at him with the DRS himself.
Yeah. Let's see that closing speed. Boy, has he got some closing speed. Look at that. He's going to go down the inside well before the apex. Can he get it slowed down? Just about. Yeah, that's no problem. So
Kaiser's flashing like crazy, as well as used all his ERS for that.
Yeah. I think
Rotterdam's
right.
made it work.
Oh. Blimey, where did you get that done?
We moved to a different battle and he does it. Oh, sod's law. Keep an eye on that one, though.
Battles all over the track. Yeah, now let's just have a look. They've got quite equal ERS, I would say, at the moment. So, yeah, for Scratch now, it's can you get a rope and just lasso onto the back of Rotterdam there. That gap is about 0.8 seconds. It's so important that you keep within 1 second here. He's gone wide through that. But the S is that going to cost him the DRS down?
I think it's cost him the detection. And Kaiser's got past Gav again.
Oh gosh, he's got past there. So Gav is going to have the DRS, isn't he? Yeah.
Yep.
Well, maybe this is played. Maybe he's been very sneaky. Let Gav past here, and then he'll just take the place back. No, Gav's smarter than that, isn't he? He says, no, thank you very much. You can have the place for now. I'm very happy being in 4th place and 5th place until... Bosh. Too easy.
As the barber shop goes flying past the French baton.
Yeah. Very skinny car there.
He'll be loving that as well. He really doesn't like the French, does he?
No, he doesn't. I'll try and keep that to the minimum on our live stream. But yes, his views on the French are there for you to look up if you wish.
I'm not sure what the issue is, but
he has opinions.
Let's have a look. Ghost Rider's up to 8th, but he's now under pressure from Ant behind him.
Yeah, he's made some really good progress there, hasn't he? And I was just watching that gap between him and in 7th place. It's 8 seconds down to 6, so he is making progress, but it's a little slow. He'll be open for a safety car to squish the field together again.
Although after his first lap problems, he's now on a 20.3 behind the leader.
Yeah.
That's some great driving, is that, to get back up there this quick.
Very consistent.
And only one penalty so far for Gibbon.
Yeah. Right. I think the Kaiser Soze Night Shadow Ding Dong is about to head on again, so let's see what Kaiser Soze does. Is he going to take the bait again? Oh, is he just sitting there? No, you go first. No, you go first, please. Fine. Kaiser Soze goes first into that section. Wonder what Gav's going to do now. Oh, he's only going to get some DRS. And he's still got the speed advantage. Oh, he's desperate for that inside line. Pushes his way through. Can he get the anchors on, though? For turn 9, we've got Kaiser Soze going up the inside. Oh, side by side into that section. Kaiser Soze around the outside. It's so hard here to go side by side, boys. Just keep it careful. Gav leaves him the space nice and clean. Keeps that position. Well fought.
That really was. I'm loving this helicopter shot as well.
Oh, excellent. And all the while you've got Rob Smith, who's got the best view in the house. I think he's just saying, yeah, you battle, boys. I'll keep within a second. Maybe get some of my ERS up. And yeah.
Hope when you two make a mistake and I can just go, thank you.
Precisely. Yeah.
Triangle coming through. Maybe we should call that car Dairy Lee.
I think so. Yeah, it's such a weird looking car compared to all the others on the grid. We got a yellow. Oh no, that's just a.
Kaiser's done it again. He's overtaken him going into the first hairpin.
Yeah.
So now Gav's just going to go, yeah, I'll have the DRS, thank you very much.
Yeah, but is he going to take it? I don't think he will. I don't think he wants to pass on this straight.
No, he's a crafty cat, is Gav. But Rob Smith's having a go.
Yeah, they've got to watch out. Rob Smith will take the place if you don't go quick enough, boys.
Ooh, side by side into the chicane. That's brave.
That's brave. They've done it again, though, and he's side by side there.
Gav's launch off that chicane is filth.
But
Boothie's getting involved now.
Yeah.
Oh, who's going to come out of this ahead?
Oh.
I think it's Gav, then Boothie, then Rob, then Kaiser. No, Kaiser's got Rob. Some great driving for no accident there, though.
Oh, yeah, I mean, brilliant from all four of them, but yeah, those two up front, so desperate to go slow, not to give each other the ERS. The two cars behind say, okay, thank you very much, I'll just come straight on through then. You've got to be careful of that, boys, because I reckon they've got a little bit more ERS than you.
I mean, Gav's doing well to fight this, especially on hards, and he's dropping Boothie quite well at the moment.
Yeah, those two, I think we're getting slightly to the crossover point between those hards and mediums, where the hards really start to come into their own. The mediums will be starting to struggle because they'll be pitting in, what, lap 11, lap 12, depending on what strategy you're on. And yeah, he's pulled out a little bit of a gap to Boothie there, hasn't he?
I think Boothie's just scraped into his DRS zone at the detection point, though. He's going to pray that he has. Does that wing open?
No, it doesn't. And he is.
I thought he'd got it at the detection.
Kaiser.
But is Kaiser going to play sensible and hold back? He is. He's learnt from what Gav were doing to him. I think he's learnt Gav's line through that chicane as well.
Yeah, because he's got such a good exit out there, hasn't he?
Is it going to be a double mugging though for Boothie? Can Kaiser hang it round the outside? It can be done. And he does. Oh, now Rob's thinking, I'll just have a look here. He's probably thinking, oh, I'll get you next lap.
He's been thinking that for about the past 10 laps. These four have had a right ding-dong right back. There was a lovely little, just a twitch from the rear there from Kaiser as he came around the outside. Very ballsy move. And more importantly for him now, he's closing down Gav. Still within that 1 second range. That's going to be really important if he wants to try and pull away from Boothie going into those next two DRS sections.
I think he's just about pulled the gap on Boothie, which is then going to help Rob's case against Boothie.
Yeah.
Because Rob's going to want to get on up the road before Ant and Ghost Rider arrive on scene.
Oh, certainly.
Speaking of which, what's the gap down to Ghost Rider now? 21.6 from the leader. So, I mean, Bandstop's checked out a little bit here.
Yeah, he's 8 seconds ahead of Scratch, who is now 3 seconds ahead of Rotterdam, who's 3 seconds ahead of Knight. So, yeah, that's all sewn up. But once again, the real battle here is Gav versus Kaiser, as they say. How slow do you want to go through these corners? Right, is Gav going to get a taste of his own medicine here?
I believe he might. Because neither of them have got any ERS, they're both flashing like crazy.
No, I think he's just about kept that. Kaiser's going to have to go round the outside if he's going to make it work.
If he flashed that much in public, he'd get arrested. Yeah, I think Gav's held that.
Yeah.
Let's go have a look at Bandstop, because he's having a really quiet race. We've barely seen him. You wouldn't even think he's out there leading the race.
No. But sometimes you're not fighting all the time, and that's true, and you've got a 9-second gap. You know that you're increasing that gap every lap. It's lovely in a way, but also concentration. Really, really
Rotterdam's
key.
had a moment. Oh, is he in the... No, he's had a moment.
Is he okay? Is everything still on his... all four wheels on his wagon, and I think his front wing's okay, but yeah, maybe just lost it a little bit there, unfortunately.
Looks like he lost it coming out of the final corner. Quick check-in on Bandstop. He's literally at the chicane as Gav and Kaiser are coming onto the first straight.
Yeah, such a big advantage. Last thing he wants is a safety car now, doesn't he? He just wants a nice, simple race out in front. Thank you very much. I'll take that win.
It's like a carbon copy of Tier 2 with hosepipe. He literally just dominated and checked out.
I think it is once you're... Sorry, go ahead.
The only thing that brought anybody else back into it, nothing against Hodgie, because he had a great battle with him in the last lap, but it was a safety car that brought us back in.
Yes, yeah, and in a way I was very glad that he did, that Hosepipe did win that race in the end, because boy did he deserve it. When you've been that dominant over the rest of the field, yeah, you want to chalk that up as a win, otherwise it feels like you had something taken from you.
Bandstop's in the pits. He's called it a day on the mediums.
Yep, that's about right for the one stop, so that's 12 laps done on those mediums. Check them in, now back onto the hards. Really interesting to see where he comes out past people like Gav. So is he going to come out into traffic, or is he going to have a bit of clean air coming out the...
I think Gav might just jump him here.
Yeah, Gav's going to jump him. And Boothie.
Yeah, I think he's going to filter in behind Rob Smith.
Yeah, that's not too bad. I mean, he'll hope that Rob Smith dips into the pits pretty soon, but he's going to be right in. He's going to be with that wily old fox, Gav, and his tricks. He doesn't really want to get caught up in that.
He's only 11 seconds off his teammate who's now leading it. And what's the pit stop here, about 23?
Yeah, just about that, I'd say, given the time that's... oh yeah, no, Ghost Rider pitted, so I can't use him as a boundary because I knew he was about 23 seconds behind, but...
Seems to take an age when you're stuck in that tunnel though, trying to get out.
It does. And the one thing I really don't want to do is just... You don't want to be the person who bins it coming out the pits, do you? You don't want to lose your front... Right, oh! Sorry, I'm bored with Bandstop there. He's not quite au fait with Rob Smith's braking point for turn 9, but tragedy was avoided.
Yeah, luckily they avoided some incident there. I mean, where's Ghost Rider in all this?
So he's just pitted, he's onto the hards as well, so he's on the one-stop medium to hard strategy, in 10th as well.
Scratch has just pitted. So I wonder where... I mean, Ghost Rider's 35.6 behind, but really measuring him more against, I guess, Bandstop.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he's done well. I think he's still in with a legit shot of something.
Oh, definitely. I think he'll get points. Now you're in top 10 and you're on the hards. You're, back on the same strategy as everybody else, really. So, yeah, just got to make up those places. Scratch there comes out in 5th place. That's not too bad for him. He's only got, Bandstop ahead of him, so he should get P2 on the road.
Gekke's out.
He's rounded his leg out. That's a
Yeah.
full... Is that virtual or
That's
is
a
that
full.
safety?
It's just triggered it.
Oh, this is interesting. So what's the gap between Barnstorp and Knight? So if Knight goes into the pits here for mediums, that's fine for Barnstorp. It's not actually too bad of a time for this to happen for those medium runners who just pit onto hards.
It's rough for anybody swapping from hards to mediums now, though.
Yes, yeah, you've got to make those mediums last a long time if you want to do it. Do you stay out and let the safety car go around for 3 laps and then instantly go in, or do you try and eke those mediums out? Yeah,
I mean, you're going to have probably 2 laps under safety car minimum, which will negate the difference a little bit.
Yeah.
Gav stayed out anyway, but we all know he's one for a bold strategy. Booth is stayed out.
Has he stayed out? Good time for Rotterdam to pit, though, isn't it?
Yeah,
These
he's
13
definitely
lap
coming
medium
in.
runners.
I
They'll be the
assume
real
that-
winners, won't they?
Oh yeah, out on fresh hards without losing too much time. Because it sort of halves your pit lane time.
Yes.
Gav and Boothie are going to be sitting ducks on this restart though. Well, maybe
Yeah,
not so
I mean-
much Gav with that ridiculous straight line speed he's got.
Yeah. Interesting move from Ghost Rider there. I was checking in to see what he's doing. He's just gone onto the hard, so I'd expect him to stay out, but he's popped into the pits and he's going to risk it. Mediums to the end, I imagine.
Yes, Gav, a sitting duck. Quack.
Quack, quack.
In the corners you are going to be a sitting duck. Maybe not on the straights, but in the corners they're going to be all over you. So clearly Ghost Rider and Sambal think the mediums will go to the end, which I think is possible with the safety car.
Yeah, it's possible, and you got a slight advantage over those hard runners, but yeah, it depends. I don't know, those last 2 or 3 laps, I wouldn't want to be them. It's going to be very tough.
You ready for the world's slowest safety car restart?
It's painful around here, isn't it? It really
Gav's
is.
restarts are painful anyway.
But nobody really goes, and you can't really go until you've gone round that last corner, can you? Because there's no way of getting any sort of momentum or speed. So you can't really go any earlier.
Let's have a quick check in on the YouTube chat, see what's going on. So we haven't really looked today. We've had some hellos from people. Knitch was in the chat. I can't race because of the load shedding. There's no electricity. That's unfortunate.
Does suck.
Gav going on about his setup. Ghost is quick. Why did he get moved from racing for Ferrari to racing for Merc tonight? May want to speak to Gav on that one. And just some highs and good looks. So
Well.
yeah, pretty quiet in YouTube tonight.
Well, I'll share a fact that might get the YouTube chat going while we've got this little safety car break. So obviously the World Cup is happening in Qatar, as you know. Did you know that Hanna-Barbera, they tried to sell their cartoons to that region? Are you aware?
No, I wasn't.
Yeah, no. So they tried lots of stuff. So they tried like Scooby-Doo. That was all right. Most interestingly, they offered the Flintstones to Qatar, and they really don't like the Flintstones. But the people of Abu Dhabi do.
Oh God!
The people of Abu Dhabi do.
Oh, you need a shame bell for that one. That was nearly as good as the 2 for 1.
Thank you. That's any way that I can make the safety car period feel even longer. I think I've achieved that with that joke.
It's going to be long anyway with how far back some people are.
Yeah, Ty Clear is... Wow, he's all the way back in about turn 2 or 3. We're going to have at least another lap of this, aren't we? So I'm afraid I can't think of another Abu Dhabi joke quickly. So we're just going to have to fill the silence with something else.
Any interesting facts you've got?
I'm not lead comms, mate. You're lead comms. No. we could talk about this new track layout. I think we've been qualifying, but I think it's improved the racing around here no end as a spectacle. Think of all the moves we've seen down into turn 9 that simply wouldn't have happened before, because everybody is preparing for, because it kills all your momentum. If you don't get that move done on the old game, then you're into that horrible left-right section and it just becomes a procession. We've seen a real barnstorming night between Night Shadow and Boothie and Kaiser and Rob Smith. Those four wouldn't have been able to do that on this old track. So I know it hasn't quite in real life given us the dramatic racing that we want, but I think on games like this, where you can race really close and hard, it's done exactly what it's been designed for. So yeah, I just hope more. I hope F1 are more ambitious with their tracks in the future, and they're willing to change things, willing to see where things don't work or where things get a little bit boring, because, yeah, processions aren't that fun, are they?
No, that's kind of the issue with Monaco. It turns into a procession every year, but it's such a crown jewel on the calendar, they won't get rid of it.
Yeah. Well, have you heard some of the ideas that they've had for Monaco and things that I would like to see them introduce?
No,
so, the idea of having a Joker lap, so you can't widen Monaco, right? You can't change the layout like you can at Abu Dhabi because it's street circuits. But what you could do is say, right, everybody at some point has to take a Joker lap. So here's a little bit of the track that's extended, that it goes on, that adds 5 seconds to your lap. You've got to choose when you take that, and you've got to take 2 in a race. Now that could shake things up a little bit. I know it sounds a bit wacky, but anything to liven up Monaco, please. That's the type of suggestions you need.
I was waiting for the punchline then.
Oh, no, that's a serious suggestion. That's like something that they've considered. I was like, you know what? I would take that. At least to have, or I know what Lewis Hamilton's talked about. He said like enforcing that you must have at least 2 stops a race, because 2 pit stops usually makes things a lot more exciting than 1. And you'd see people pushing the tyres, you'd see less sort of tyre management, less lift and coast. I'd be up for that as well. So there's a couple of ideas in the pipeline, but yeah, the FIA they're the ones in charge. Gosh, talking about a slow restart, Gav's in control now, isn't he? The safety car is in the pits. We are.
I told you this is some of the world's slowest restarts. I'm surprised he's not signing autographs for the people on that balcony.
Yeah, gosh, what do they say? Safety cars call safety cars, and he's gone. Okay, he has to just go, but he's gone. I've said that you couldn't go anywhere but the last corner, but not if you do that. Blimey, he's kept Boothie sleeping there. Everybody's a bit sleepy after that restart, but
I think the last corner's too predictable. I was thinking this. Ghost Rider's out. He must have lost it coming out of the last corner. He has.
Oh, that's such a shame.
Sorry. There goes our prediction.
There goes our pick.
It's yellow in sector 3, nothing else. No virtual, no full. So we can at least go racing again. We don't have to suffer one of these ridiculously slow restarts.
Yeah.
So that's the problem. Everybody has freezing cold tyres.
Yes. Particularly in that section. We had a little bit of a coming together there between the 2 Aston Martins. Scratch just catching the back of Barnstorp. Luckily they've kept it clean and kept it all over, but that means that BDR on his 17-lap-old hards is all over the back of Scratch going into turn 9. Oh, it's
also got Kaiser's. Scratch has gone.
Yeah.
He's spun. Oh, what happened there with the Haas, the Red Bull, and we've had a Ferrari, I think, spinning sympathy.
Oh gosh, it's chaos, isn't it? Yeah, Baldy, Rotterdam, and Ant, I think. I don't know if they'll have a look at those cars. I can't see any of them. I don't think they need to go into the pits. But yeah, that's the last thing you want, isn't it? Safety car restart. 2
of them look like they went in the wall pretty heavy. They're lucky if they've not had any damage off that. I was expecting DNFs.
Yeah.
Well, Gav's checked out a little bit from this restart. Booth is really having to defend from Barnstorp at the moment.
Yeah.
I think Bandstop's probably going to have him on this straight because he's just got so much better traction.
Yep. Or he might wait for the DRS if that's sensible, because he's not closing that quickly. Everybody's got a lot of DRS to play with, haven't they? Yeah, he's really not closing on that straight. He's going to have to wait for DRS or for one of these two to pit, because obviously they're on 18 lap old hards.
Yeah, I mean, he could just wait because, like you say, they have to pit. They're not exactly checking away from him.
No, but
does it just hold him up too much if he sits behind him?
Yeah, he really doesn't want to sort of let Kaiser Soze just get comfortable behind him and get into that DRS, and yeah, he can't pull away like he did before. And also the other thing, and we've talked about Gav and his unusual strategy calls. He's the type of madman who would just say, I'm going to do 28 laps on these hards and pray for a safety car. You know, he's not one to go by the form book. So yeah, let's see what he can do. But importantly for Barnstop, Boothie is just outside of that 1 second range from Night Shadow now. So
he's creeping back in it though. We'll see what we get at the detection.
Yeah. I think Boothie's going to be struggling at the detection, and I think that Barnstop's going to be lining up that move.
Depends where the detection is, I guess. Let's see what we get.
Oh, Boothie's got it.
He has managed to get it. I think the detection is just before the corner.
Yeah, but gosh, look at that extra helping hand that DRS gives him down that straight for Barnstop. Easy peasy.
Kaiser's having a look in on Boothie as well.
Yeah, I think Kaiser might get Boothie this time as well, and this other DRS. Depends how much.
Just depends on straight line speed difference.
Yep. No, he's very sensible there.
So he's another one who can think, well, he's got to pit.
Yep.
But it depends how long until he pits. That's sometimes your issue. Bandstop's taking chunks out of Gav's lead at the moment.
Well, he will, and now it's, like we say, it's a question, is Gav going to stick or twist here? Those hards are getting very much towards the end of their lifespan, and yet, what did I say? He's a madman. He's going to stay out for another lap. 20 laps on the hards, let's get it done. Maybe he's pushing for lap 22 so he can go onto the softs at the end. That's what I would hit if I were him.
I mean, he has had a chunk under the safety car, so that'll have helped his life a little bit.
Yeah.
So I think the softs is a potential option at the moment.
Yeah.
And it looks like Calvin's thinking the same thing, and Boothie.
Oh, I don't know if that's smart from Gav or if he's trying to do the same again. He's just broke way before the DRS detection zone there, so he'll get the DRS going into the next section. I don't think he's going to...
Remind you of the game that Leclerc and Verstappen played at Jeddah.
Yes, yeah, precisely.
And at Bahrain.
It's smart driving. It's definitely a feasible tactic. And behind, and that's we've just seen Kaiser go past. So Kaiser's into P3. Oh, but Kaiser's gone round.
Oh no!
Oh, it's just coming out. Yeah, that was just coming out of that one too.
And Gav's just slipped up the inside of Bandstop into turn 9.
Ooh.
That was close, but well held.
Very close. Cut him off at the apex there. Barnstop's going to be, yeah, you just got to keep it calm in there. Know that you're up against a person who has to take another pit stop. I know he's ruining your race at the moment, but he does have to pit. You just want to keep it clean. Don't let anything silly happen.
Just remember, he's an Iron Brew fueled madman.
Yeah. Still stays out.
And he's probably on party with Connor, making up some very interesting points.
Safety
and I
car.
think we've got a full safety.
For what? Who's out? Just decided to...
Is it Ty Clear that's had a massive moment? He has had a massive moment, and this has just played right into Gav's hands. Yeah,
but, no car's off on track.
He's clearly not going to be P1, but he's going to be up there somewhere.
Michael, no, this is so not right.
And the 21 references appear.
Sorry, well, late safety car without anybody crashing out is, yeah, I'd be thrown under the helmet.
You know, I thought we'd put Massey locked away somewhere.
I know, we won't bring him out again. So, what do you do if you're Gav? I mean,
You've got to pit for the softs.
You've got to pit, but he hasn't had that much time to build up a gap to those behind. He's going to lose out, isn't he?
But if he stays out, he's going to get swallowed even more, and he'll still have to pit.
Yes.
Pit, get the fresh softs, and just go.
Okay.
I mean, he's probably going to come out maybe ahead of Baldy and his teammate. That's not the worst thing in the world, because Calvin's going to have to pit, Boothie's going to have to pit, and maybe some of the other hard runners are going to gamble as well.
So maybe his bet is, does Barnstorp pit for softs as well now? Because those soft runners are behind. Is Barnstorp going to be the last man out on the hard saying, yeah, I can defeat all these soft runners behind me?
So Boothie's in. Rob Smith's carried on. Scratch has carried on. Mindful's carried on.
It's not the worst thing that's come for Mindful on those mediums. He's got to go, he must have been one of those that pitted for the mediums under that first safety car, so he can stretch them out. Might be a bit dicey towards the end.
Baldy's pitted, so Gav's come out on the back of all that in P6 on fresh softs.
Well, it's worked very well for him. Slipped Michael Massey a quid or two back there, because
he's in the wrong car for that, but yeah. He was in the sister team last season. That's when he should have been paying him off.
The one thing that he can't do, though, that he's been doing all race, is his sort of slow down for the cars behind. He's got to just race them like he's racing them now. But he'll be confident. He'll be hoping for as many laps of DRS as possible here.
He's just popped up in YouTube going, yes, Mikey, yes. What is it? Yes, Mikey, yes, that was so right for me.
Yeah, that was so right. Gosh. Hectic race, hasn't it? These two safety cars have really shaken up the order. I know Scratch had a bit of a moment, but he's back in third now. It's just those... Yeah, it's what do you do if you're those Aston Martin drivers up top now? You are the only ones left on the hards. You've got to do a Lewis Hamilton, haven't you? You've got to make those hards work like softs for the end of the race.
We've got Rob Smith and Kaiser up there as well. Mindful's on mediums. But then from 6 down are pretty much on softs. Yep. Barring Ant that's on fresh mediums and Gibbon that's on old hards, but he's lapsed, so he's not really in the running.
Yeah. I think we're probably going to get, we're definitely going to get one more lap, isn't it? It's if we get another lap of safety car after this. It's if Rotterdam has caught up to the end of the pack. I think Rotterdam's our last. Yeah, he's the one furthest behind on track.
Yeah, we should probably have a... Yeah, I reckon next lap it'll be in. Gibbons just pitted and put the softs on, which should help keep him out of the way of any cars in front of him as well.
I think that's sensible from Gibbon. Yeah, if you're a lap down, go into the pits, put the softs on, have the most fun at the end as well. Because you don't want to be stuck on hards and be miserable and be in everybody's way.
I think there'll only be Rotterdam that gets stuck behind him.
2 seconds, I'll be back. I'm being attacked by my cat who doesn't want me to commentate and wants me to give her food, so I'm going to give in to that and I'll be back in a tick.
No worries. So anybody in YouTube, any predictions for the win? It's kind of a little bit neutralised at the moment, but we should be racing again at the end of this lap after the safety car.
Sorry about that. It's very hard to commentate when you have claws in the back of your hand and your shoulder and your lap and everywhere. So, yes, back now. Thank you.
It was your race engineer telling you off.
It was. Really turned me off. Safety car in this lap, though, it's been confirmed. So, how slow can Barnstorp go? Or is it going to be a bit more predictable?
So there we go. We've had a call for that reckons Julian reckons that Barnstorp's going to win. I wonder if that's Julian Tune. Who will be racing in the next race.
Oh yeah, I hope so. Probably cheering us. We've got a lot of good friends, haven't we? That's the one good thing about this community. A lot of people want success for others, don't they? There aren't too many bitter rivalries, I think, in this sport. So, yeah, it's nice to see others cheering on other drivers in the YouTube chat.
Let's see, when does Bandstop go? Has he gone? I think he's sort of partially went, but then he's properly gone out of the last corner.
Yeah.
He's not really caught Rob sleeping though. Gav's got past Kaiser Soze already.
Oh, and Kaiser's round, unfortunately.
He's not having much luck at turn 1 tonight.
No.
Hopefully he can recover himself. So current running order, we've got Bandstop, Rob, Scratch, Mindful, Gav, Boothie, Calvin, Connor, Fragile Tunnel and Ant.
Yeah, and 5 laps. 5 laps of racing. It's a 5-lapper now. Those on the softs will just think they're in an online lobby. Don't treat it like an online lobby, boys. Please be a bit safer than that. But yeah, completely different race to your 29 now. It's everybody will be going pedal to the metal.
Mindful Wasp just got past Scratch Charisma at the 6-7 chicane.
Those mediums, yeah, proving a little bit better than the hards right now.
And Gav's just got past him now.
He's super quick on those softs in a straight line without any DRS.
Bandstop's just going to want to check out at this point. Rob's going to want to keep his DRS.
Yep.
And then you've got to the 2 fast approaching of Mindful and Gav, who are absolutely storming at the moment.
He's all over the back of those 3. Bandstop's just saying, let me get out in front. Let me get out as far in front ahead as possible, because I want to be away from this Scottish madman who's tearing things up at the moment. Is he going to go into a move for turn 1 against Mindful? He's going down the inside. He's got the pace. Backs out. I think that's smart. You've got 4 more laps of this, boys.
That is smart. He knows he's got the straight line speed anyway.
Yeah.
He just needs to cling on and make it work on the straights. Bandstop's really checked out though. He's like 1.7 ahead of Rob now. Nearly 2 seconds. He's just trying to get away from this Scottish madman and the buzzy wasp that are flying through. Let's see, is he going to make a move into the chicane? Mindful's got a lot of straight line speed as well.
Yeah.
And he's just got past Rob Smith. Both of them side by side. Yeah, both back.
Wheels, that's fine.
Both are past. Now Gav's chasing after Mindful. That could disadvantage Mindful on the next lap though, because DRS will be enabled. He won't have any.
Yep.
And with Gav's straight line speed, Gav's out of ERS. He's flashing like crazy.
Yeah, I think that's the one problem, is he's had to use it all up to get past that little gaggle of cars that was between him and the leader.
We've got Yellow, who's had a moment.
Connor, I think. I've got things on Connor going around. Yeah.
Down in P13, unfortunately. Booth is all over the back of Scratch. Bandstop sets fastest lap, which is brilliant work on the hards.
Yeah.
He's fired them up and into life.
The hards don't really fall off, right? I mean, towards the end of their life, they are okay. You can still sort of lean on them a bit. So
Baldy's in the pit already.
It's a shame.
Gav's not going to fall for that one.
No. He's got the DRS. Mindful's just going to let him past, but it doesn't matter. He's got the DRS already. Whoa! That's a big one! Oh, we might be looking at that one later. Not quite sure what happened there. I think we'll
definitely be looking at that one later. Mindful's got no front wing. Gav's looks to be intact, I believe. Mindful's just retired as well. Sure we'll end up looking at that. Let's go back up to the front, because Boothie's all over the back of Scratch.
Whoa,
and he's just taken him.
Two for the price of one.
Ah, there's your joke come back on us. Calvin's just snuck up on the side of Scratch as well. That was a sneaky little move. Oh, 3 wide.
Oh, goodness
Please
me.
don't end in tears.
Somewhere. Yeah. Well played, everyone.
Oh, some great action there. See, Ant's coming into his own on the mediums as well.
Yeah, these poor hard runners are just getting swallowed up, but every time you have to pass a hard runner it takes a little bit more time, and that gives Barnstop, what, he's up to 4 seconds ahead from Boothie with 2 laps to go. Boothie's going to have to really put in some mega laps here if he wants to catch up to Barnstop up top.
Well, as they would say to Lewis, it's hammer time.
Yeah.
If you want a chance at it. I mean, he's on for a solid podium.
Oh yeah, certainly.
He's still got to fend off from Rob Smith, who's going to have the DRS on him, who's trying to fend off from Calvin, who's going to have the DRS on him. We've got a train. Ant's now got past Scratch. And the DRS train goes all the way back to Scratch.
Yeah.
Rotterdam fastest lap, 1:27.6. It's hard to know where to look with all these cars trying to fight each other.
Yeah, we've got Barnstop out front. He's checked out. I think he's safe for now, but really the battle now is between Boothie, Rob Smith, Calvin, Ant and Scratch for those podium places.
Calvin's just got Rob Smith round the outside of turn 9.
Those hards just falling away now, aren't they? Just every lap that goes on a bit longer, those softs warm up, they're fired up. But it's just soft on soft now, isn't it? You've got BDR versus Boothie, who had an excellent race back in Brazil. He'll be really happy that he's able to get another good result here tonight. It's looking like it.
Seems to be coming into his own this season. I mean, fair play to him.
Yeah.
Oh, Gav's round again, it looks like.
Oh, it's a shame.
Looked like exit turn 9.
Yeah.
He's now been passed by his teammates, so the Alphas are not having a good night. It was going great, it's now not. Let's see. So we're on the last lap. Barnstop's really checked out. I think he's got this in the bag.
Yeah.
Hopefully that wasn't a commentator's curse.
Well, he just needs to keep it clean, I think. Everybody else is just squabbling behind him now.
I remember a few times in the past when Murray Walker said something like that and then it went wrong on the last lap.
Yeah.
He's on the last lap and nothing can stop him now. Engine failure.
Ant has just got Rob Smith. Those mediums are still pretty good. Maybe taking the mediums over the softs, because the softs can do about 5 laps well. You're starting to get into struggling time. And is he going to get BDR going into turn 9 here? He's got the outside line. Oh, bit of wheel to wheel.
I wonder if we'll see that one. Boothie looks to be a little bit on the slow side as well.
Yeah, but
either that or the guys behind him are just so much faster.
Yeah, it doesn't tend to matter through here. Usually it's single file. I don't know if anybody's going to make a dramatic last lunge, but I wouldn't recommend it.
I'd hope not, because we need to go back up to the front and watch Barnstop, who's coming over around the final corner and picks up the win in the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. Excellent. Boothie comes home second with Calvin in third. Anton drops down a little bit, so it's Rob Smith fourth, Scratch fifth, Anton sixth, who's
to the line with these two.
Sambal steals 7th just before the line, so it's back Meso 8th. Fragile Tunnels coming home in 9th, Baldy 10th, and the Alfa Romeo boys are going to come through together. I'm trying to go side by side if we're 11th and 12th. Rotterdam comes home 13th in his first Tier 3 race. Or second, I believe, actually, he was in last week. Kaiser Soze 14th. Gibbons 16th, who's already passed the line, so we're just waiting on Ty Clear getting round. He seems to have had a bit of a struggling race as well.
Oh,
fortunately.
Can breathe again now. That was yet another hectic finish to that race. Really interesting to see how those boys on softs and those boys on hards came through in the end. But
there we go,
really
across
well
the line. See who the game gives driver of the day to. I'm feeling it's going to be someone like Calvin. Oh, it's Ant.
Ooh, well done.
I guess Calvin qualified on the wets, didn't he? So we're a little bit further up. Both had good races though. And here he comes, Toby himself. Some of the podium celebrations are a little bit interesting, but
they are. I think that was the old shoey shuffle on their little tap of the heels. But Yeah, he should be really proud of how he did there today. Didn't buckle under pressure, said, I'm going to stay out on the hards. I don't care if you stay on the softs behind me, I'm quick enough. And yeah, he even put a fastest lap in on those hards right at the end. So yeah, fully deserved. Great race from Barnstorp there.
It definitely was. All three on the podium had a great race. There we go, that confirms the results for you. Who would your driver of the day be?
Oh, yeah, I would give it to Banstorp just because he controlled that race from start to finish. You think how dominant he was at the start, how checked out he was, and then to keep his cool at the end. That's exactly what Hoseman did at Tier 2, and it takes a lot of skill to do both those things. So yeah, that's going to be my driver of the day.
Yeah, I think I agree with that. Banstorp had an amazing race there. Like you say, checked out, didn't buckle under pressure when he stayed out on the hards.
Mm-hmm.
I'll give a bit of a mention to Sambal as well, because he's come from 20th to 7th.
Yeah, I think that's excellent. And a shout out, I know we were having a go at him all race, but Gav showed sometimes you just need to think a little bit outside the box, and it very nearly all came together for him. I think he could have got second place and, you know, turn that into a really interesting strategy. Just a shame it didn't quite come off at the end. So yeah, great race from everybody, really.
Yeah, unfortunately that's racing and it's how it goes.
Yeah.
There we go. Thanks everybody for watching. If you're new to us, obviously like and subscribe. If you click the notification bell, you'll get notified when we go live. The next Tier 4 race is in approximately 20 minutes, so if you want to tune in and watch that, cheer on some of the guys. But thank you from me and everybody here. So good night.
That's all right. Good night. Cheers.